God saying this, you take the name of the Lord in vain. So, anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. The spirit of abortion and the spirit of Moab. Larry Norman. That's where we were. This was a tangent after this stuff went off the screen, guys. So, just so you know. Here we go. You ready? So I'm in Texas. Now the guys know this. See, one of the things I always tell the guys is the only thing that the Lord spoke to me early on, I heard this audibly from the Spirit in my, you know how that resonates in you sometimes? You get that? I've only had it 3 times where I heard a resonance come inside me. And I heard this: never manipulate with your gift. So the guys know that I never speak to things knowingly. I'm actually most of the time ignorantly prophetic. That's why I don't consider myself a prophet, because I'm ignorant about it. If I am prophetic, it's just that I happen to say something that I probably wouldn't have said had I known I was going to say it. You know what I mean? So what happened was Larry Norman died. And I go to Tyler, Texas. Well, what I didn't know was they don't even celebrate like Martin Luther King holiday there. So I get up and I start singing. And I said, guys, Larry Norman died. They're all like, wow, cool. So, you know, not that they were happy about it, but I said, I want to sing a song. One of my favorite songs of his is called The Great American Novel. So I started singing. I was born and raised an orphan in a land that once was free, in a land that poured its love out on the moon. They were into it. And I grew up in the shadow of your silos filled with grain, and you never helped to fill my empty spoon. And when I was 10, you murdered law with courtroom politics. There's a little inference there to certain things, you know, maybe prayer in school, different things. And so you heard the crowd kind of, yeah, oh yeah, sing it, brother, that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And then I was 10, you murdered law with courtroom politics. And you learned to make a lie sound just like truth. But I know you better now, and I don't fault you for your tricks, but you lost the one advantage of my youth. Everybody's with me on this prophetic journey. Until here. You killed a black man at midnight just for talking to your daughter. And what I love is that people, you know, they'll even pretend like the anointing left the room or stupid stuff like that. You killed a black man at midnight just for talking to your daughter. But I'm learning that that's when the anointing's really breaking the yoke. It's like, whoa. So I always tell the guys, if we're going to move there, I don't ever want to move there knowing it. Because God just doesn't bless that. If you're trying to do that, it's like, but if you get in the middle of it, and then you're willing to stay in that tension and just let the tension be there. I'm learning to love that tension. Because I'm learning that it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's just, woohoo, there it is. There it is. We're pregnant. The body's stretching. There it goes. Holy smokes. And so there we are, all stretched out. You killed a black man at midnight just for talking to your daughter. And you made his wife your mistress, and you leave her without water. And the sheet you wear upon your face, the sheet is the sheet your children sleep on. You say a prayer at every meal you don't believe, but still you keep on. And your money says, in God we trust, but it's against the law to pray in school. You say we beat the Russians to the moon, and I say you starve your children to do it. And then it just got worse. Because people by this time, some are so offended that they don't even know what, they think I wrote the song. And I just introduced it that Larry wrote the song. And now they're mad at me because they think I wrote the song and they think it's present. And he's talking about probably the Vietnam War. And all of a sudden I start singing and I could just feel it, the temperature rising. Here we go. And I knew they were already, you can just feel it. You don't have to, nobody has to say nothing. I look over at the band and I just went, woo, we got to do it. We got to sing it. We're in now. We can't just stop. So I did it. We're far across the ocean in a war that's not our own. And while we're winning theirs, we're going to lose the one at home. Do you really think the only way to bring about the peace is to sacrifice, there's the spirit of Molech, your children, to kill all your enemies? The politicians all make speeches and the newsmen all take notes. And they exaggerate the issues as they shove it down our throats. Do you really think it's up to them whether this country sinks or floats? Well, I wonder who would lead us if none of us would vote. And the money, there's a whole other line. I can't even remember it because it's so far out there. It's like, my lips are chapped, my wires are tapped, my lips are chapped from whispering through the vents. They know every move I make. Okay, this is what I said. He gets a little paranoid schizophrenic here. Or is it just... No, I'm just kidding. It's awesome. They know every move I make. I guess he really felt like that, I guess, is what I was told. People were tapping him. They were coming after him. Maybe they thought he was a communist. Anyway, wow! Oh! Felt so good! To sing, it was like I could just blame it on Larry! It's fun to be able to blame it on Larry. And that, you just got to get used to that, see? Because you might write something that's exactly what's needed for the hour, but nobody wants to hear it. It's not even about war, just missing the point. It's not about any of that stuff. It's about not attaching Jesus to it. Yeah. We got a prophetic word, this is what I see in our day. It's like these two beautiful pictures. The prophetic word of, here it is. Jesus, this picture, just close your eyes and go with me here. Jesus is on a boat with the fishermen and the waves are going everywhere. And Jesus is sleeping and the disciples are terrified. And the disciples say, Jesus, wake up! We're going to die! And Jesus says to them, how long do I have to be with you? And he calms the storm, remember, and he gets almost frustrated at them. And then he calms the storm. And then they're more terrified than they were before. He calmed the sea. You know what I mean? Because he calmed the sea. So I'm going to be done in just a second. Just hold with me. Listen, it's like Jesus calms the sea. Now, we have this other picture. Jesus in Gethsemane. Jesus asked for the disciples to stay awake while he's wrestling with this thing that's eternal. And they can't stay awake for it. Or maybe if we look at this eschatologically, me and you can't stay awake for it. Right? Why? Because